Hey everybody, Gabe Suarez here from Suarez Tactics. I told you that I was going to be evaluating some of the Holosuns new optics, and I did that. Right after the optics class, I had Josh at Suarez International order me an EPS carry. So now I've got one of each. Okay, so we have the 507K, which is the one that traditionally we put on the CZ pistols and other narrow pistols. In fact, there was a Browning high power in class that probably is going to end up with one of these on it. But anyway, this has been kind of the staple for the CZ line, as well as any similar weapon platforms that have a narrow slide. So we have this one. I compare the three. I had the standard EPS installed on my CZ75 Omega, which is a full size. It's analogous to the old CZ75 Bravo that from Cold War era and so on. So this one has had the EPS for quite a while now, and I've been running it. I've taken shots in class that were ridiculous, 100-yard headshots and things like that, which, I mean, that's insane. And then finally, I got the EPS carry on my carry CZP01. And so I'm going to be comparing the three. Okay. Now, functionally, they're all outstanding. Now, there's some differences that we're going to talk about. Okay. So now, a quick comparison. All right. Up here on the board. On top, we have the 507K. And look, the prices I got right from the Holosun site. So, they're probably going to be a little bit less, street price and whatnot. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not in that business anymore. So 507K on Holosun site, 376. Okay. Now it's a vast difference between 376 and 506, which is what the EPS units are selling for. But, real quick, 507K, $376. The window is 0.58 by 0.77. So it's not a huge window, but it gets the job done. We've never had any issues with it. Some people will say a big window is better. Yes and no. It depends on the size of the optic. Okay. Throwing a microwave size optic like the Aimpoint Acro on the ass end of a carry pistol like this, so you have a big window, that's kind of putting the cart before the horse. Okay. It's kind of like taking, a loopholed 20 power mil-dot scope and putting it on MP5. It's like, why would you do that? That's stupid. Okay. So, will a bigger window help you pick up the dot better and give you some better shooting attributes? Okay. Yes. The price is, it's a big fucking optic and it's hard to conceal. Okay. So there it is. This has been a really great size and it's worked well. Okay. 507K. The size, okay, 1.6 by 98 by 95. That's the size of the 507K footprint. Now, there's a few optics out there now that are trying to emulate Holosun, and they're using this footprint. The K footprint is what they call it. Okay, but anyway, this is it. This is actually the first CZ that I had cut for the Holosun for me. It's been nothing but fantastic. So anyway, moving on. Okay. The next one, the EPS. All right. Now I'm going to show the camera this. Okay. Now you notice that on the CZ75, it overhangs just a little bit. Okay. Not a big deal. You remember when we were cutting Glock slides and putting RMRs on there, the RMRs would overhang by about the same margin, and there was never an issue. Okay, the bottom end, I don't know if you can see there, is totally sealed. There's no way anything can get in there. Let me see if I can get the camera. Yeah, you can see that. Okay, so it overhangs by, and I don't know, maybe a quarter. No, not even a quarter inch. It's just a really small amount. Again, you can see the back end of the slide, and you can see where the optic is, okay, from the front, okay, to upset the Elmer Fuds that are watching. Okay, you can see what I'm talking about. It's very, very minor. Okay, you can see it there too. The EPS, probably more suitable for a wider slide, but you know what? It's been on here for a long time. And I've got one on my SPO1 as well, and never had a single issue with it whatsoever. These are still good concealment size optics. We'll be talking about the EPS and the EPS carry in a minute here. Okay. So $506. Okay. Now these are, that variable reticle system, which, it's okay. Do you lose anything? No, not really. I just run dots. Some people like that circle in the dot and stuff like that. I don't know. For me on a pistol, that's a little bit too much visual clutter. I know there's guys that are running those on shotguns, in the 508T optic. This is maybe a little too small to go on a long gun, but I just set it for the dot and leave it alone. What I like on the EPS system is that it has this solar panel to recharge it should the battery have issues. That's kind of a cool feature. Okay. So anyway, this is it. The EPS, 1.6 by 119 by 99. So just as you can see by comparison, just slightly bigger than the 507K. All right. Closed emitter, which we'll talk about momentarily. Okay. And finally, the EPS carry. Okay. The latest in the collection, that I got on here to kind of ring it and test it out and everything else. Okay. Also $506. The circuitry on these is exactly the same. The window is the same window as the 507K, 0.58 by 0.77. The size is just slightly bigger than the 507K. We'll talk about that in a minute here. Okay. 162 by 107 by 95. Okay. Now, you may be tempted to think that this won't fit on a slide that's been cut for a 507K. No, that's not true. This slide was cut for a 507K. All right. Now, the differences here. Okay. That's 0.02. Okay. And just, slightly bigger here. Okay. Slightly wider. I'm sorry. This is slightly wider. So let me see. Yeah, just a nose hair wider. It's the same height for the most part. Okay, so when you put an EPS carry on a 507K footprint, it's exactly the same thing. Now with this, on all the ones that I've installed on 507K cut slides, if you have a machinist that isn't an idiot and knows how to cut it for a precise measurement, you'll have to put this on here and just kind of rubber mallet it on. It's a very, very tight fit. That's not a bad thing. Okay. So anyway, that's it. 1 ounce, 1 ounce. All right. So now the question, which should you go with? Okay. Let me see here. The EPS or the EPS carry, there they are side by side, the same, width slide. Okay. Honestly, to me, hardly makes a bit of a difference. Slightly bigger window on the EPS than on the EPS carry. But again, like I said, not a big deal. If I was putting this on a full-size pistol, I might opt for just an EPS. But on a compact pistol, the EPS is kind of it's like putting an aim-point acro on it. It's stupid. Why would you do that? Who would do such a thing? So the EPS carry works perfectly on a smaller pistol. Okay. So those are the stats right there. Now, closed emitter, open emitter. Okay. So let's compare these two right here. The 507K and the EPS carry. Okay. For the most part, same size, same window, same everything. Okay. Now, I've told you that in my opinion, open emitter, closed emitter, it's kind of a non-issue. Okay. We have been doing this stuff for a very, very long time. We were the first. We were doing it when everybody thought it was stupid. Okay, and this month marks the 13th anniversary of the very first optics pistol. And back then it was red dot pistol because that's the only thing we had was red dots. 13th anniversary of that, and that inaugural class, I may add, it was snowing. It was cold as a son of a bitch, and it was snowing. I've got pictures to prove it. And you know what? Nobody knew the difference between a closed emitter, open emitter, none of that stuff. Okay. And they worked fine. I've taught in every type of climate you can imagine: sand, rain, snow, sleet, heat. All over the country for 13 years teaching this optic stuff, and never, ever has there been an issue with the open emitter optics, initially the RMRs that we were using. Matter of fact, I did a class in Colorado. I think it was in 2017. I had a bunch of Canadian police there that were interested in, kind of adopting the system. And it was raining, and, there was a couple of guys on there, the YouTube followers and whatnot. Hey, tell me about the RMR in the rain. I took one of my pistols, threw it in a puddle, and told them that it was a non-issue, that it wouldn't matter. And then I picked it up. I handed it to one of the Canadian officers, pointed to a steel that was about 50 yards away, and I go, sock that thing, over and over and over, ding, 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 proving that it was a non-issue. Okay? All right. Now, what I'm going to tell you is this. If you are short of funds and $506 is a little steep, you know what? You're not going to hurt by taking the 507K. That has worked for me for now 2 years without issue. I've carried it over and over, day in and day out. I've shot with it. I've taught classes with it. Never had an issue with it. Okay. But what I'll tell you is this. In my opinion, the EPS and EPS carry are better optics, not because of the closed emitter, open emitter thing at all. That's just a side issue. And could it be a benefit? Yeah, absolutely. It could be a benefit. But what I'll tell you is this. I like the solar window that they have up top here. I think that's an asset. The glass on these EPS and EPS carry units, I think, has improved considerably from when Holosun first started, promoting these. In fact, I've got one of the original Holosuns here. This is the first one that we started with. What is this thing? It's a 507C. Okay. And I mean, as I look through the glass on these, this one's been sitting out here for about a year. Battery's still good. Got the solar power panel on here, usually during the day, unless it's wintertime. I've got this place opened up, sunlight everywhere. Okay. And I'm looking at the glass on the two of them. And you know what? On these new ones, it's a definite difference. It's a definite improvement in the optics. I like green for reasons that I've discussed in the past and so on. So anyway, guys, this is it right here. My opinion, I think these two are probably the better, for carry EPS or EPS carry. If you're running a narrow slide like this, even if you're running a Glock or something like that, I mean, why not put something like that on there? Now, the difference between Holosun and all these other companies that are making, the closed emitter stuff is basically this right here. Okay. I will show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, a lot of these guys, they don't carry these things. Okay. They go to the range, they put on their war belt, paint their face or something like that so they feel good about themselves. They go through drills and all that stuff. When it's time to go home, this bitch goes in a gun case and they grab that stupid little Kel-Tec or whatever the fuck they carry with them. That's what they put in their pants and they go home with that. That's what they carry. Okay, they're not really gunfighters. They just pretend to be gunfighters in the range. Those are the guys that say that some of these things are game changers. Look, this area here is what is going to stick out and print when you carry this. So if this optic stuck all the way out here, okay, and then drop down, and then you put that in your belt, this is what's going to print. Two things print when you're carrying a pistol. This and this, okay? In a properly designed holster, this is turned inboard, but this is not. This is going to stick out, and everyone's going to wonder what the hell you have under your shirt, okay? Holosun did it right. They're the only company that made a properly designed closed emitter optic, and they made it nice and short, okay? As a matter of fact, okay, when you compare it to the 507K, you can see that it's virtually the same, well, not the same width, but, maybe another 25% longer in the back, but not very much at all, okay? So if you want closed emitter, go with a Holosun, skip those acros and all those other, bread box type things that they put on the back of these slides. This is the hot ticket right here. This or the EPS carry or the EPS. Anyway, that's it, guys. This will be up on Patreon. for your study. And if you have any questions, please post them below, and off we go. Peace out.